Hi everyone, it's Michael from the Secret Space Pirates. Today I will show you a bit of basics two balls juggling. So when we go for juggling, most of the people want to go directly to three ball juggling. That's what everybody knows as a juggler and what people want to learn. And we can go there if first you go for the one ball juggling video I show you. Now I will show you some progression with two balls and also things that you can actually do to have fun with kids. And a short progression that they can go for a three ball juggling later. Before we start, there's like something that you can try for yourself, but every time someone will take two balls in his hands like this to juggle, he will do this movement. And if I don't mistake, I think we call that a shower. And that's gonna be really hard because if we want to go to three ball juggling, they actually need to unlearn this. So what I will show you today is a progression to go from this to this, which is a necessary part to go for three ball juggling in that way. But as this movement is really persistent, also take that time to like acknowledge when they are already able to do like two ball juggling movements. You know, like even if it's something they need to unlearn, you don't need to tell them that neither. And you can challenge them to try to do it also. Even for me it's a bit hard to do it in the other way, just to challenge them a bit with that exercise. So now I'm going to show you a little progression, how to go from there to here. And even if it looks easy, it's not that simple, but with like some pedagogic trick, you can go there step by step and also have fun on the way. The tricky part when we go for two object manipulation or juggling in general is that it require also like something we call lateralisation. And sorry for the French accent, but I don't know exactly the English word for that. But what it means is the connection between the two hemispheres of your brain. And as a kid, it's really nice to learn that actually and to build those connections within the neurons. And so it's a bit challenging to use both of your hands at the same time. So and when we do this, we actually have a split time action, one then the other. And this is quite tricky. And so we are going for two objects with our two hands and also a difference in timing. So instead of like being too challenging from the beginning, what I will advise is first to be able to toss one and the other. And so like this, they can take time to focus on one hand, then the other. It's really simple, but like this you can also see if they are able to toss with both hands in a similar way. If not, you need to show them a bit how to toss again, properly one ball, but with the left hand, or most of the time the non-native hand. When that starts to be okay, we can try to toss both in the same time and try to catch them. And this is quite tricky exercise. Remember that you want them to look straight and not look at the two balls at the same time, otherwise the eyes gonna go split direction. And even if it's not perfect, then we try to get the balls exactly at the same height and then take them back. Okay, now you feel a bit more comfortable to use your two hands in the same time. We're gonna include the notion of timing. For that we can use number or like any word with two syllables, like 1, 2, shoko, or any word you like with two syllables, something where you feel good with it. Number work also really good. And so it looks like this. 1, 2. Really simple. 1, 2. 1, 2. Make them say it also. Not only think it, but say it, because it will help the brain and body to work better together. That's also like something from circus pedagogy. So, 1, 2. Now what we want is to go when the ball is in the air here, and will be at the highest point and start to fall, then we toss the other one. So 1, 2, 1, 2. And this 1, 2. This is why saying the number helps, because by saying the 2, you will push your body to toss it, because at the beginning it can be complicated to send the command to your body. 1, 2, 1, 2. Before we go to the next step, it's also important that you reverse it. It means that now if you were starting with the right hand, take a bit of time to start. 1, 2. And you repeat the same exercise till they are able to do 1, 2. Now then we include the notion of timing. We want to be able that they can cross when they're going to toss and toss 2 balls at the same time. So instead of going to the split time, we will be this later on. We're going to go to toss both in the same time and catch. As we are tossing on the same time, so like they are cross, there's risk that they bump in the air. You want one hand to be a little bit more in front of the other when you toss. And try to make them toss around the level of the eye, because this will give them enough time to catch them. And now we go for the tricky part, will be to be able to toss split time from one hand to another. 1, 2, 1, 2. So here again we're gonna need to use a number for the timing, but also you need to show them that when this ball is here and want to fall, this is the moment where we toss the other. And by going with our hands inside, toss, going inside and toss, like this, they don't cross each other. So it will look like this. 1, 2. 1, 2. And for this exercise, don't focus on the fact like the success is not necessarily to catch them directly, but be able to toss them. So you really want to push them to be like 1, 2, even if the 2 fall and the 1 also. That doesn't matter, but you want to create that dynamic that they can toss one and the other and be aware of the notion of timing here. When you toss, then they will be both going at the level of your on the sight level, and often one hand will toss a bit lower than the other. And for that, a funny exercise is they will need to keep saying 1, 2, 1, 2. It will help. But for anybody, if the 2 is too low, they will say 1, 2. And the fact to speak louder will push your body to toss higher. 1, 2. And also you make them a bit express, and like it can be a bit frustrating sometimes juggling. So with this exercise, at least they can express and speak a bit loud and also get out of this frustration game. If you notice, then they start to work good around it. You can give them also a number. Okay, now that you manage 1, let's try to have 5 in a row work good. And by giving this challenge with a number, it will keep them motivated and really try to like keep on till they reach that number. If they're really good, you can even go to 10. And when they are there, you can offer them like as a reward to try something different. So for example, instead of starting here, to start maybe under the arm and doing the same. And already they start to go to some pattern of juggling would be really cool with 3 balls. Learning juggling can be really challenging because there is a lot of failure. So again, try to put an emphasis on the fact that the more you fail, actually the more you learn, because you are doing it. And the more you stay focused on one thing, the more you have chance also to success. Keep them motivated with like also some nice words of encouragement, and also by giving them some challenges and like be with them and like show them they actually have a progression from where they start, and keep them motivated to go, for example, to a 3-ball juggling. And this is the end of this tutorial. I hope you enjoy it. and see you in the next one for more 2-ball juggling tricks and 3 balls juggling.